favorite podcast. We've upgraded, although I feel like I'm in an operating room.
Yeah, these things are fucking big, and they're not here to stay, people. They are, honestly, when you watch it in the camera, I don't think you're going to think they're as big. I think they just feel that way because our last ones were about like this high. But the quality of these,
what it is. I feel like I'm looking this thing in the eye.
The quality of these things is way better. But yeah, we got some different ones coming by the same company. Really like Sure. So we'll see how those ones are.
Yeah, I'm going to have a lot of time editing this, so I really get to check it out. I feel like I just should be like stroking it the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's weird or what, but that's just what comes to my mind.
We were on vacation and in Oak Island the other week, and the boxes came in for these. And I was like looking on the Ring doorbell. I was like, what the hell package is that? They're like fucking 10 foot long. I was like, I have no idea what that is. And so we get home and I was like, oh my God. And so they had these things fully extended. So like where the arm bends, they were fully extended the whole length. I was like,
that thing?
Yeah. I was like, Jesus.
That's a weird way to ship. You'd think like they'd fold it in half.
Right? That's what I thought, but hey. So
we're trying, guys.
That's all we can do. That is all we can do.
So a couple weeks out now. How you feeling? Back to normal? Back in a routine?
I like your new shoes, by the way. Those are really fucking nice.
Thank you.
Wow, I like those a lot.
$60.
Really?
Tone sent me while you guys were in Chattanooga that Saucony was having a sale. There's a Memorial Day weekend sale.
Oh, dude, I would have got those for
At
like
least for
casual wear.
$60, dude.
Oh, that makes me sad.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. All right, well, let's dive into this. 2 weeks post-race, 2 weeks and 1 day. Yesterday, when we're recording this, would have been 2 weeks exactly. And I was actually thinking about this, so I'm glad that you asked me. Because, man, it is very easy. And I think I've uncovered why majority of the world is fucking fat, lazy, unmotivated, mentally struggling, physically struggling, because, dude, it is so easy when you don't have a routine, when you don't have a plan, when you don't have something in place, and it doesn't have to be a race. It is so easy to dive off the deep end. Oh, I'll get this for dinner. Oh, I'll drink this tonight. Oh, I'll have this tonight. Like, bro, and like, granted, I've been busting my ass for 8 weeks, but that doesn't mean, or 8 months, but that doesn't mean that I need to just completely derail all of that progress. And so I'm fucking having French fries. I'm having Doritos. I'm having beers. I'm having whiskey. I'm having fried food. I'm having chicken sandwiches.
Hell yeah, dude.
And 1 week post race, I was like, you know what? Indulge, because you're going to jump back on this bandwagon. It's not going to last. And truthfully, bro, I don't like doing it. I feel like shit. I mentally, like, a week can trigger me to start getting in my head again, where I'm like, God damn, like I'm having weird thoughts. Just like weird thoughts as in like, oh, don't do this today. Oh, you don't have to go and get the 10,000 steps. Oh, you don't. That never crosses my mind when I'm going through training or when I'm working on something.
It's actually really weird.
It's so weird. It's a new coffee, and I don't know if I love it or hate it. But yeah, so I'm glad that you. It's not bad. I'm glad that you asked about this, because I think we can dive into this like in depth without even realizing it. Because when I was mowing the grass yesterday, I was like, all right, so, you know, come in the new week, like you're going to have a new program, you're going to have a new plan, you're going to have all these like things, like just mentally prepare for it. And I instantly was like, oh, that means get wings and fries, because you're not going to have those again.
Bro, that is the easiest thing for me to do. It's like, well, last day. And how many last days do I have in a row?
How many last days has everybody promised themselves?
Oh,
this is my last day I'm doing this. My last day I'm not doing this.
I made a joke the other day. I was like, it was like raining. I was like, it feels like we should get ice cream today. And she's like, we could do that. I'm like, we've literally said for the last 3 weeks we're going to stop getting ice cream. We're not getting ice cream today.
Yeah, and so I come inside and I told Lo, I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to get some chicken wings and fries tonight. She's like, no, you're not. I was like, yeah, I am. She's like, no, you're not. And I was like, I want them. And she was like, yeah, but you don't need them. And I was like, fine, I'll make chicken wings at home. She's like, you're going to go and buy chicken wings and make them? And I was like, no, I'll get chicken tenders, grill them, and put like wing sauce on them or something. And let me tell you.
Have you ever made chicken wings at home, though?
Mm-mm.
It's not as hard as you think.
No?
No. I used to get like 2 pounds of them from Whole Foods.
See, what scares me is I always get chicken wings and they got little hairs coming out of them.
They have those sometimes.
Yeah, I don't like that shit. I see that and I instantly can't eat it. I don't fuck with that.
All right.
So that's why I don't.
Just fucking eating beets like they're apples.
Those are good.
I got some more at the house you can have. I can't do it, dude.
Really?
Yeah, I still can't do it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I love them. They're real good. They had them in Chattanooga at the race.
Mm.
All right. So, anyways, mowing the lawn, thinking I'm going to get chicken wings and fries. I didn't end up doing it.
Shout out to Lo.
Yeah, shout out to her. But yeah, man, it's just crazy because, again, like, it's the same thing with work. When you go into work, you have tasks that you have to accomplish. When you go in, you accomplish those tasks, you know you had a successful day. You go in the next day, you know that you still have tasks for that project, for that thing, to keep the initiative moving forward. When you and I have been talking about DTI, you're like, bro, I need action items. I need things I can check off, because then you know that you're progressing, you're working forward. Same thing with your training block that you're coming up. Your coach is going to give you things that you have to check off daily, whether you want to do them or don't want to do them. But guess what? You're going to show up. You're going to get them fucking done. And if you can't get them done 100%, you're at least going to get them done something, so that way it works towards that progress. And so as you go through life on these different scales, you're in school. You have tests. You have homework assignments. You have things you have to check off. Then when you sign up for extracurriculars like sports, you have practices, you have games, you have things you have to check off. And so I'm sitting here over the last 2 weeks just fucking willy-nilly in life, and it gets the best of you because you don't have boxes that you have to check off. Like the things that we talk about, the habits that I preach about all the time, that you preach about all the time, the things that we do, it's like, okay, I know I'm going to get 10,000 steps. I know I'm going to wake up at 4:30. I know I'm going to get a morning lift in. I know after that I'm going to make my coffee. I'm going to journal. I'm going to work on DTI stuff. I'm going to shower. I'm going to get ready for work, do work. Then after that, I have other things that I'm going to do. And so I just realized that, like, planning in retrospect to life, not retrospect to a fucking race that we're doing, is so important, because it can go in any direction at any time. Savings, your financial status, your job status, things you want to achieve outside of work, relationship status. Like all of these things have check boxes that you have to do daily, or else you're just going to keep going backwards in life.
So would you say that we're just going to keep it in a race term just because, like, I'm about to enter one, you will, I'm sure, at some point in the future? When you come out of it again, would you still structure your day, even though you're going to be looser with training and diet? Would you still have, like, things that you need to check off to give you that sense of purpose still?
Yeah, because I still have goals. I still have ambition. I still have drive. I still have things that I want to do outside of the race. Like, the race is cool because it's the shiny thing. It's something you can talk about. But, like, bro, there's so much that we have to do for this. There's so much that I have to do around the house. There's so much that I have to do for my job. Like, there's still so much that I have to do in areas that I truly want to get better at. I want to get better at this. I want to get better at financial. It doesn't mean that any of those are bad. It's just like, if I constantly want to improve and reach these new limits of life, I don't need to fucking derail for 2 weeks. I don't need to derail for a week. Like, what is the point of that? Loosen up a little bit, enjoy life. Yes. Yeah. But that doesn't mean stop the steps. That doesn't mean stop the journaling. That doesn't mean stop the editing. That doesn't mean stop the filming.
It's a weird social construct that, like, when you accomplish something like this, you're supposed to celebrate, or what the world deems as, like, celebrating, which is getting off your routines. Let me take some time off. Let me eat like shit. Let me drink. And these things are supposed to be rewards, but they're actually taking away from you.
Yeah. Because during the last 2 weeks, my creativity hasn't been as high. My discipline definitely hasn't been as high. Like I said, my mental thoughts were starting to slip. And again, not in a bad way. Just, oh, you don't have to do this. Oh, eat this. Oh, slack here. Like, dude, during training, I would never be that way. I would be on the road for work. I would not go to fucking dinner with clients. I would do what I had to do for work. Off work, I would eat a steak, a salad. I would eat Chipotle, like all these different things that were...
All right, while we're on this topic of planning and traveling and shit, let me ask you a question, because this is something I've already been struggling with. You just brought up, I'm about to enter a block here soon. Actually, when this comes out, this week, this is when I'm starting.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm already in my head. Like, I've been having these thoughts that you've been having of like, I'm entering a block. I got to do this while I can. And that's what I keep saying out loud to myself. I'm like, I want to eat this because I'm not about to do it for a while. And so I'm doing these same things. But I'm also in my head about, we've got a lot of bachelor parties coming up. We've got a lot of wedding coming up. How, if at all, are you like preparing yourself or planning, I guess, same thing, to navigate that? We're about to be in Florida in 3 weeks for what I don't think is going to be an absolute shit show, but it's a bachelor party.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Like, how are you planning to get through that?
So it's going to go back to the foundation. It's going to go back to the habits that we talk about. Like, if we know that we're going to have drinks on the boat and we know we're going to have drinks at the pool and we know that we're going to have drinks at dinner, we have to stick to the basics in some sense. Make sure we're getting the 10,000 steps. You know how easy it is to just lounge at a pool all day and then go to dinner all day and then go sit at whatever. And you look and you've gotten 2,000 steps. You've treated your body like shit. So this is like kind of what I've done on the road. And so for me, it's going to be easy because I already know what it's like to be out of my norm and I know how to control that. But now what I have to remember is like, maybe I don't have to drink as much. Maybe I don't have to drink and eat shitty. Like, make sure I get the food. So there's the pros or there's the weighing of like good decisions, bad decisions. We can make good decisions and still enjoy ourselves, still have the drinks, still make the memories with our friends. But that doesn't mean that I can't wake up early to go and get those steps before everybody wakes up. That doesn't mean that when we go out to eat, I get chicken and rice instead of a pizza or instead of something fried. And so it's just like those little sound things where they sound minuscule and it's like, oh, that's not going to move the needle. But like, dude, waking up before anybody else, going to get a run, going to get a walk, like that's a huge fucking check mark. When I was in Nashville for our fantasy draft last year, dude, I woke up and in the backyard, I was doing a workout with propane tanks. Like, where there's a will, there's a way. You just have to have the discipline to be able to go and do it. And so my thing too is like, I don't want it to be a 3 or 4 day like absolute bender. I get that it might be like that one of the days. I'm fine with that, but
that though is the key. But it's also the hardest part is one day. Have one day where you're just off the rails, but let's have some semblance of normality for the rest of the weekend.
Sponsored time. You guys know the deal. Here at DTI, we want to help people live a healthier, happier lifestyle. We're excited to partner with First Form because their mission is to impact one person's life a day. First Form gives us the capabilities to help you guys reach and achieve the goals you set forth. Utilize First Form through their supplements or their merchandise to live a more active lifestyle, putting yourself first and prioritizing the things that are important. Try First Form today with the link below. Back to the show. Yeah. Yeah, again, it's just making sure you're checking those little boxes. The food, the walking, maybe getting a tiny little workout, even if it's a body workout.
Our friends aren't going to like that this is what's being discussed right now. But this one, I'm not as worried about, honestly.
And it's going to be easy because we got a gym on fucking...
Oh, do we? Yeah, we're in a resort. Okay, that is better.
Yeah.
And, like, pretty much everyone there works out to some degree. So I feel like we'll be fine. Like, you can at least find one person. And I think that's going to be... Which, if that's got to be us, it's got to be us.
Hey, baby.
Because it's got to be there. It's got to be when we go to Austin in October. Like, we've got to be, like, on our shit.
Yeah. Austin will be
or on October, September. That one's going to be hard for me. I'm 4 weeks out of the race.
4 weeks out of the race, so you really got to be disciplined. But not only that, like, we're in a house instead of a, like, hotel or resort that has a gym you can go to or whatever. But, again, it's just pounding the pavement, getting on the road, whatever. It's finding it out. It's showing up for yourself. How are you going to show up for yourself? How are you going to make better decisions? And again, I don't think there's anything to like overanalyze or dive too deep in. We all know where we can make sacrifices to then kind of have that pendulum balance instead of just fucking grinding the road, fucked up, eating shitty, just all the habits thrown out the window. So yeah, I mean, there's an accountability sake, and luckily we'll both be at both of them.
That is good, is that we will both be at both.
Yeah.
I just know I'm the type of person who I need to hold myself accountable.
Yeah.
And this one is close enough like to starting the prep that has me nervous. I'm like,
and we're at a resort on the fucking water.
'Cause like
on a boat.
By the time September comes around, I'm a month out. Like I'm already disciplined. I'm dialed into paces. I'm in all this stuff. So I'm like, all right, I can kind of keep this one locked back down.
Have you thought about not like drinking at that one?
I've thought about it for sure. I mean, we're going to see how I'm operating at that time. Because if I'm not already drinking leading into it, it's going to be a lot easier for me to say no.
Yeah.
But if I'm casually drinking here and there, it's going to be a lot harder. I know myself. And it's not good, but I'm like an all or nothing personality.
Yeah.
I'm either sober or I'm going hard. Like, there's no middle ground.
There's no middle ground.
Unless, like, I can't say that because, like, it depends on the situation. But in that type of a setting, there's no middle ground for me. I can't just start to have a good time.
Yeah. Who knows? We might both get out there and just get fucking hammered for 3 days.
Okay, dude. That's not helping me. I don't know. It's just there's so much shit going on over the summer that I have no choice but to plan it out. Like, I need to know when I'm doing what and where I'm allowed to make some sacrifices or, like, compromise. Be like, okay, I can do that this day. Not this weekend, like this day. And I need to plan that entire block out, like, now.
Yeah.
Like, right now.
I think for you entering the block and me just coming off of one where I wouldn't say things are more looser for me, but, like, I don't have a time attached to my goals in terms of, like, finishing the race sub 3. And, like, we talked a couple weeks ago where, like, that's a big fucking goal. Knocking, 15 minutes off of your time? And as I was talking to you when I was finishing the prep, the one thing that I realized is, like, the best thing that I did during that prep was be selfish with my time and the decisions I wanted to make and the things I wanted to do. And so when people would be like, hey, let's go out, I would either say, no, I'm not going, or I would go out and I wouldn't drink. I would have a non-alcoholic, shout out, Athletic Brewing Co., go and get your, Dylan will, at 16 minutes, put the tag down here so that way you guys can go and get it. But seriously, those saved me during prep because there's something about being social where you want to have something in your hand so that way people aren't questioning you. You don't feel awkward and you have that refreshness of something cold and carbonated or whatever. And so Athletic Brewing Co., like, dude, I used them throughout my entire prep, and that's what kept me dialed and disciplined because once I had one or two of those, I'm like, okay, cool. I didn't need anything after that. And so I'm going to stress it over and over and over again. And if I think that you're slipping, and again, slipping doesn't mean like eating or drinking, like just overall, bro, because again, you're going after something so lofty and you've wanted this for so long that, like, it's going to need people to check you and be like, hey, dial the fuck back in.
I mean, you told me last week, and I took it to heart, that I need to approach this one differently. And honestly, the lead up into it already, which is a lot of stuff that we talked about on our run this last Saturday, is already being approached in a different way. So I did take it to heart, and I do want you to hold me accountable because I am not trying to slip up during prep.
Yeah. Yeah. And the cool thing about this prep is that you're financially more involved in it. The gym membership, the coach, new shoes, like all of those different things are bringing you closer to it, which in my mind is showing like a different level of seriousness. It's like, all right, let's fucking strap in and see what this does.
I think that having a solid group of guys here all training for the same thing is going to help too. We ran into John after our run on Saturday. And before I got home, he texted the group. He's like, yo, just ran into Dylan. Got me fired up for this block. Like, when are the boys running? Like, let's start running together during the week. He's like, here's these 2 days are speed days for me. These 2 days are easy, and this is my long run. I'm like, all right, I can do Monday, Friday, Saturday now. So now I have 3 days a week where I'm going to be running with a group of guys who all at least have the same goal timeline-wise. We're all going for different times. But honestly, like, a lot of them are going for like 3:15. So it's not like we're crazy far off.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to be at least in a good enough place to where we can do a lot of our runs together. Easy runs for sure. But even speed days, like some of that, if it's on a track, easy to do together.
Yeah.
But just being around that community again, I think is going to help. Because when we trained for Chicago, it felt, or not Chicago, for Charlotte, it felt very different than when I trained for Indy. Me and Tone ran together every fucking morning for Charlotte.
Yeah. Yeah, the one, let me know when those workouts are because I'd like to join you guys if they're in the mornings. But two, when we were running around Freedom Park, me, you, and Jay, and then we made that loop around the pond there or whatever it is, you had asked me, you're like, what's like one of the biggest takeaways of this block or what's one of the biggest something of the block that you've had? And it was like the week before that, there was this unlock where I was like, holy shit, dude. Like, I've shown up for myself every fucking week, every single day, day over day over day. Did I have the most perfect block? No. But every single day I showed up in some way with all the travel, with all of the meetings, with all of the, and I was like, the coolest thing about this block is that I didn't have like an outside force being like, hey, you have to do this. Hey, come get this run. Hey, come in this. Hey, blah, blah. Like, it was me showing myself that all of these previous things and races were with a group of people. So they were motivating me to get out there. And there was almost a sense of like, oh, because they're doing it, I'll do it. Mm-hmm. But like, this is the first time that I went through an endeavor like this by myself, where on those hard days, I didn't have Dylan pulling me out of bed. On those days that I didn't run, I didn't have Tone calling me. On those days that I just wanted to fucking walk instead of run, Jay Bird's out there and I'm like, all right, let's go get it. Like, so I had those people to pull me out during those times. But when I was on the road at 4 a.m., the only thing pulling me out of bed was that alarm clock. Nobody else. Going down to the gym by myself. And so while you have these people, I'm also excited that you're taking on this training by yourself too, because there's going to be a lot of times where you can't meet up with those guys, that you can't have them. And so you're going to be out there and you're going to get that feeling of like, damn, I'm pretty fucking lonely. Now you got to go into the office more. So now you're driving to work by yourself. You're driving home by yourself. You're running by yourself. You're working at Longhorn by yourself. Like, there are big chunks of your day where you're by yourself. And I think that there's going to be something that turns in your mind too, where you like use the analogy that I've talked about being a loner, and you apply that in your own way and uncover something new during this training. Because again, you don't have those people that are always going to be pulling you out when you don't want to go and fucking do the speed workouts or do the long runs. Because shit is about to start fucking kicking in next week, bro.
I literally just did 11 miles in prep for prep.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's going to be nuts quick. We'll see.
Yeah, but the important thing is planning. You know when you have to go into work. You know when you have your second job. Mm-hmm. You know when you and Mandy have stuff going on. You know when you have bachelor parties going on. You know when the weddings are. So just plan accordingly so that way you can check the boxes. Like, just because you're out in Florida or just because you're out in Austin doesn't mean you have to do what the group is doing. Like, if you have a fucking workout you have to do, go and fucking do that. Don't hurt yourself because you're like, oh, well,
yeah,
it
goes to the fucking all or nothing mentality, dude. Last year, mile a day. Never missed. Didn't matter where I was. Now it's like I wake up after having a couple beers. I'm like, I don't want to run. Last year, dude, I'm out there still drunk getting a mile in, and it was curing hangovers. And now I'm being a little bitch about it. Frankly, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
I'm just laying in bed like, I'll sleep.
Yeah, it's self-discipline. That's the thing. Most people fucking look for discipline in other people and accountability partners, this and that, but that ain't how you're fucking raised or bred. So you're going to be good. Again, I think what comes down to it, it's not having other people hold you accountable. It's having the planning.
Yeah.
So that way you mentally know, like, all right, these are the things that are like non-negotiables. I'm going to check those off. And then if I meet them out to dinner later, that's fine. If I go to brunch later, that's fine. Because again, that's more important.
You know, I have FOMO.
I know. That's why I'm speaking this out loud right now so you can start thinking about it.
It's a bad case. It is a bad case of it. But no, I'm excited to like actually get into it. It's going to come down to planning now the next 4 months of my life.
Yeah, 100%. Because again, like we talked about on the run this weekend, you're going to have to be like, okay, well, I have a 13-mile run that I have to do Saturday, but we're going to be in Florida. So maybe I'll move that to Monday because I'm not in the office, and then I'll do the shorter ones in Florida. Still hitting it, still showing up. Adapt and overcome. Planning is going to be the key. So
planning is going to be the key for a lot of things.
Yeah. Planning's the key in fucking life, man. People, you have to realize that if you have any goal, dream, aspiration, thing that you want to achieve, accomplish, overcome, persevere through, you have to plan. You have to strategically lay out what you are going to do day in and day out to achieve said thing that is on your mind, that is weighing on you, that you want to see through, that you want to see happen. Because without planning, you're just a free fucking soul out there in the world, and nobody has enough discipline to just go through life and then their dreams, goals, and aspirations come to light. You have to be intentional with it, and you have to put concrete stuff in the foundation of I'm going to do this every single day until this happens. And when this happens, I'm going to do this and this. Dude, we used to talk about like 2 years ago about painting the big picture. Mm-hmm. What does that dream look like? Paint the most miraculous fucking picture out there of everything you want in life. Take a step back, look at it, be like, all right. And then just start checking it off day over day and start putting those puzzle pieces together. Some of those puzzle pieces, you have no idea how you're going to fucking get there. But if you keep doing the things day over day over day, you will realize that it will happen. Whether that happens in 1 month, 1 year, or 10 years, it's going to happen at some point. So just fucking do the things that you have to do daily in order to see that stuff through.
Optic Nerve was our very first sponsor here at the Desire to Inspire podcast, and it's still one that we are pumped to be partnered up with today. I was linked up with them when I was living in Colorado. They are owned and operated out of Vail, and all of their products get tested in the mountains, so you know that it's built for an active lifestyle. Freddie and I rock these things all the time. They are made with planet-friendly materials, from recycled plastics to natural wood, and every pair comes with a lifetime warranty. So, I mean, what are you really doing? Hit the link in our bio, support DTI, support Optic Nerve, look fly doing it. Whether you're just out enjoying a nice stroll or getting active, Optic Nerve has got your back. So go to opticnerve.com and use code DTI for 20% off your order today. That's opticnerve.com, code DTI. People thinking 10 years in advance is such an abstract thing, though. It's even something I don't like to do. That obviously, like, I know that the daily things that we do are ultimately leading there. Mm-hmm. But to think about 10 years is just an overwhelming thought.
Yeah. And life can change so much. Like, when people ask me in interviews, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
My least favorite question.
After my dad died, I was like, bro, I don't even know what tomorrow is.
Yeah.
So literally in interviews, I will spin the question. When they ask me that, I told this employer and my previous employer, I was like, honestly, I hate that question. I was like, and I tell a story. And then they're like, wow, I really like that. And so I'm not going to say what the story is.
But it's different than everyone else just has some bullshit blanket answer because that's such a common question just to feed to you. So even like outside of the story, which I'm sure is impactful and like helps them like gain an idea of who you are as a person, not just who you'd be as an employee. But I feel like it just is like, okay, this guy thinks outside the box. Like, he's not just going to hand me what I'm asking for.
Yeah. I love interviews. I feel like I fucking kill them.
I do not like them. I don't mind them. I just hate the initial interview.
Yeah.
That's my least favorite plot. I'm like, you're just asking me questions that you could just read off this piece of paper that you made me give you.
That is facts. I've brought up Tupac in both of my last interviews.
Oh, I know. I hear about it all the time.
Just letting the people know. Gotta have fun with it, man. Everybody's so fucking serious. Isn't it weird that, like, when people have titles, we think, like, oh, my God, we have to think, act, talk a certain way? Like, you know those motherfuckers are leaving this building, going and fuck this, fuck that, oh, my God, smoking cigs, drinking whiskey. Like, they're just common everyday people. But because they have these titles, we think we have to, like, bow down to them. And I'm not saying disrespect them, but I'm saying be your fucking self.
It's weird societal constructs that have just, like, solidified over time. Is like, you have to be and act a certain way.
Yes. God, go in there and just show them who you are. I mean, if you're a good person, like, you're not going to say something you shouldn't say, or you're not going to do something you shouldn't do. That's the one thing that I fucking hated about working at corporate America, is that, like, I would have to get permission to go and talk to my boss's boss. And I'm like, bro, there was one time I was talking to, like, 2 bosses above, like a senior VP or something like that. And my boss pulled me to the side and was like, I need to know next time that you talk to this person, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what the fuck kind of world are we living in?
For what, though?
What do you think I'm out here just, like, shitting on everybody?
Just to, like, filter your conversation through?
Right? It's weird.
Yeah, it's super weird, dude. I don't get it.
I don't either.
You had a few things you wanted to touch on. I know we kind of touched on one of them. Mm-hmm. Is that what you wanted to touch on in it? Or do you have a certain lane you want to hit right now?
No, that's good. I think the importance of planning is just something that I wanted to hammer home. I know we tied it a lot to like endurance space, but like holistically, people, we all have things that we want to work on. We all have things that we want to achieve. We all have our own struggles. We all have these different things in life that make up something in our brain. But in order to just keep moving forward and in order to actually see those things through, we have to plan. It's so critical to make sure that we are doing things with intent. Because if we're just out here like, oh, we're going to do this, or oh, it's going to happen, we're going to miss one day, then we're going to miss 2 days, then we're going to miss 3 days. And it's just going to constantly remind our brains like, okay, you don't have to do this. Look, you're still living. You don't have to do this. And next thing you know, you're going to look back a month, 2 months, 5 years later and be like, why am I still in this position? And it's because there's no intent behind the planning and there's no execution when it comes to it. Like, these things have to be done on a constant fucking basis. You have no idea when it's actually going to come true or when it's actually going to happen. But that's because that's God in the world testing you to be like, do you really want this or not? Or are you just saying all this stuff to say it? And most of the time people just say stuff to say it. They don't actually mean it because, again, they're not putting intent behind the plan. So it shows that their actions aren't truly what they want.
It's a trap, though. Like, not showing up is, your brain is telling you something, but it's all a trap. I've spent a lot of time showing up for myself, but I've spent far more of my life not showing up for myself. And even though, like, it feels good in the moment to be like, fuck it, I'm just not going to do it, or I'm going to eat this, or I'm going to drink this, your brain is telling you it's cool. Like, this is what you don't want to do it, don't do it. But the next day, your brain is right there saying, what the fuck did you do that for? It's the first person to call you out on it.
It's like beating off, bro. You beat off, you're like, yeah, I want to do this. And then you do it, you're like, fuck, why'd I do this?
Post-nut clarity, dude. But yeah, it's
I know y'all can relate too, so don't be like, you're fucking gross.
But it is true, though, man. Like, it'll tell you to do something and then shame you for doing it.
Yeah.
And you're always going to feel worse. Like, the more you don't show up for yourself, the worse you're going to continue to feel. And then, like, it's just this spiraling down this rabbit hole of unhealthy habits that now you can't even dig yourself out of.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish we could understand the human brain more because, like, that's the same thing where, like, bro, you could be showing up day over day over day and you're still in your head like, bro, I remember when I was at the lowest of lows and I would be fucking showing up and then I would go home, I'd be completely numb and I'd be like I felt like I was looking at myself outside of my body and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I'd show up again and again and I'm like, what the fuck? But sooner than later, like, when you keep going outside and getting those steps, you keep getting fresh air, you keep getting sunlight, you keep working out. Next thing you know, you're like 3 weeks and you're like, what? I haven't had any of those thoughts. Oh shit, I haven't felt that way. Oh my God, I feel like I'm seeing life the way it is. But again, bro, like, you could show up for yourself fucking for months and you still have doubt. You still, bro, we've been showing up for this for 3 years and we still have doubts. We still have, you know what I mean? And so it's fucking crazy because you tell people to check the boxes daily and to stick with it and to make it happen and blah, blah, blah. It's going to come. It's going to come. But then you're doing these things for days, weeks, months. Nothing's coming. But again, it's testing. It's like, hey, you've been this way for so long, for so many years. And you think it's just going to switch like that? Nah, God's like, I'm going to fucking do this for 8 months. You stick to this for 8 months. We'll see. Some people, it's like, stick to it for 2 months. You'll see something. But again, all of those
people, it's 10 years.
Yeah. But again, you start sticking to those things. And I promise you, bro, I promise anybody that's listening to this, that during that stint of time that I've preached about, that has helped blossom DTI, that has helped bring me to Dylan to, like, think of this concept, there was so many months where I was just fucking a shell of a human being, I think is what I classified it, like, way back in the day. And that time was lonely. It was scary. It was dark. It was unknown. But again, bro, I was fucking showing up and showing up and showing up. And I never stopped showing up. Even when I wanted to. Never stopped showing up. Never stopped showing up. And then one day, literally, I can remember this. I was walking the corner. Foxtrot was here. Standard Pour was across. I was walking on one of my routes. And I was like, oh, I haven't had these thoughts in a long time. And I was like, whoa, I feel good. And then that's when it all fucking clicked. And I was like, maybe there's something here. And so again, then it was just like pondering. And I kept doing the things. And I was like, oh my God, I started sleeping better. I started this because there was so much time where I was addressing all these things. I was sticking to it. But again, it wasn't a couple weeks that it fucking solved itself. Dylan, it might have been a year plus, dude. How long did I tell you that, hey, I got this idea?
More than a year.
I think it was like a year and a half.
It was more than a year. And I had to keep asking you 10 times.
Yeah.
Like, dude, just fucking tell me.
Finally, you were like, we're talking on this day. I don't care. Like, literally, I think it was a year and a half after I first
Yeah, it
brought
was a
it up
long
to you.
time. It was a long time.
And so, again, like, if I would have quit within that year and a half of just showing up for myself, that would have never led us together to start doing this. That would have never led me to have this outlook on life now. That would have never led me to find low. That would have never led me, But again, it's like, how much time are you going to invest? Most people, they don't want to invest a lot of time. They're like, you know what? I'm just going to go down this path then. But again, think of what you're investing in. You're investing in yourself. You're investing in your future. You're investing in the people that you love to make the impact you're supposed to. Because when you fucking get to that end, and again, it all comes around planning. When you get to that end, because you've planned so much and because you've checked the boxes daily, then you're like, I found my purpose. I found my why in life. And I'm going to go and fucking execute on it.
We're saying all this and my mind is shaming me right now. My mind is like, you're not doing this stuff all the way there, buddy. Which, granted, I'm about to have no choice but to. But this is the fucking shit that I'm talking about. Like, I'm sitting here like, I'm like going through, what did I eat yesterday? I'm like, okay, that wasn't that bad, but what about Friday? I'm like, fuck, dude.
Yeah. It's crazy. I say all the time in my daily drive-bys, I'm like, you guys, whether you get something out of this message or not, like, I say this because it's things I need to hear and things that I need to get off of my mind. And it's the same thing with these podcasts. We come in with one intent, and half of the time we don't even touch on those things because stuff just keeps flowing.
Yeah. And most of the time it is, like, a lot of it we harp on the same shit, but it's because we need to fucking drill it into ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, just because we've been doing it for this long doesn't mean that it's easy for us to do. It doesn't mean that it's second nature and it's just, whatever. Like, this is who we are. Which, granted, like, yes, it's a habit and it is, like, something that we push for all the time, but it's not that fucking easy. I didn't want to get up and come here this morning. I don't want to go run after this.
Yeah. I
don't want to go work 2 jobs today. But shit has to get done.
Yep.
I'm going to shame myself for it still.
I think we leave it here and don't even get into my other topic because it's kind of vastly different, but we will touch on that in the future. And that topic, just so you guys are aware and to hold us accountable to bring it back up, is centered around, we'll just call it the journey of life and getting to where we are and realizing like what that journey has looked like. So you guys go out there, start planning your days, start planning your weeks, start planning your months. Honestly, it comes down to the days, because if you plan your day, then your weeks are already going to get planned out, which means your months are. And when you start checking the days, you start checking the weeks. When you start checking the weeks, you check the months. And next thing you know, you look back and you're like, damn, I fucking killed it this year. And so just start with the days. Don't put too much stress on what do you want the year to look like? What do you want next month to look like? Start fucking today. Don't be that person that's like, all right, well, I'll wait till Monday to start. Like, fucking get after it now. Stop waiting for the Mondays, and stop complaining that Mondays suck, because they're fucking great. That's all I got for you guys. Love yourself. Go after your journey. Live your truth. Live your why. Have the desire to inspire. Kiss your mama. Kiss on.
Peace.